Hey, here we are. Welcome back to the newly labeled MSS 88 podcast, sponsored by Gold Athletics. Gold Athletics. We're here with Keith Mangan, the president of Mssada, and myself, first vice president Matt Trahan. Before we get kicking and rolling, folks, got to give a big shout out to our partners at Gold Athletics. Folks, if you are looking for help fundraising for your team or school, look no further. Gold Athletics is the premium fundraising company that meets all of your needs. They're currently working with many schools for their spring sports teams. Gold Athletics has all different kinds of fundraising activities that will meet your needs. Don't just take our word for it. Ask anyone who's used Gold Athletics. Gold Athletics, the only way to fundraise. Keith, hey, it's amazing. You know, we've been doing this for a little bit together and continually build. Super excited to be back with you. We have a lot to talk about, and we got a big conference coming up. But before we get to all of that, let's bring on our special guests, okay? Matt Ross and Steve Ash from Gold Athletics.
Awesome.
Gentlemen, how we doing?
What's going on?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Tell us where you are, because I happen to know where you are, and I let everybody else know.
Yeah, we're down in Newport for the big New England football clinic. So, awesome. Like you said before, kissing babies, shaking hands, and that all starts in about an hour. A lot of coaches are already down at the Brick Alley pub having some lunch beforehand, and then they're coming in, and it goes all night, and then and into tomorrow as well. So it's a great clinic, and we have about 3 or 4 back to back, ending with the AD conference at the end of the year. So we're really excited.
Awesome.
So you're busy.
Brick Alley pub's a great spot down there in Newport.
Yeah.
From what I hear, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you had any Brandon Mendy sightings?
Not yet, but I know he'll be here.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
I always try to wait to next week's the Mass High School coaches one, and he sticks and stays loyal to his Newport trip every year. So.
Yeah, I know he likes it. He likes his Newport. His Newport. Good stuff. Hey, so listen, we've got to talk a little bit. Very excited to have you guys on board partnering with us. Let's talk a little bit about that and the fact that, listen, so we do this podcast, and really it's geared for ADs and coaches, but want to get the word out, Matt, about what you and Steve and the company do. I just want to say to everybody who's listening, if you aren't fundraising with Gold Athletics, you're probably living under a rock. All of my teams are using your company, and I can say unequivocally we've had nothing but positive across the board.
No, I appreciate that. And like, once again, we're really excited about this partnership. We're really excited for you guys to have us on here. I've been doing this over 15 years. Steve's a legend in the business. He's now with Golden Athletics. He's been doing this for 25 years. And when we first started, honestly, we were supposed to kind of avoid the AD, right? You guys didn't want to deal with fundraising. We didn't want to go through you because you don't want to have to introduce every single coach. And, fundraising at that point in time, especially when Steve was starting, was a newer thing. But now we want to have the ability and the trust and the same vision that you guys have a reliable source to have your teams come to and raise money. And Matt, you and I in our personal relationship, I love the fact that if a team needs money, they come to you, you then bring it to us. And we've not always had that kind of relationship, not really, I'm saying with just you and I, but in general, we used to go find the coach. And we still do that, and we will always do it. But there's a lot more players in our space now, and we respect it. And if people are happy with who they use for fundraising, then so be it. But what we do not want to have happen is you guys have a bad experience, and then that person's an independent rep kind of going AWOL. You know where to find us, and that we will take care of your teams. And that's really what we want to strive with this partnership, with taking care of ADs, but also your coaches involved.
Yeah. Absolutely. Keith, I know you had mentioned that you're going to be doing some work as well.
So, which is funny that you let off with living under a rock. So, I'm now trying to get out from underneath my rock. Matt, I got to tell you, I literally, Trahan and I were on the phone yesterday doing some of the best business we can while we're traveling in the car and having that quiet time to have a chat. And we were talking about this and doing the podcast today. I said, I got to tell you, completely unsolicited, I just hired a new lacrosse coach, literally sent me an email 3 days ago and said, hey, I want to do this fundraiser that I did at the school I used to work at about popcorn. And I was just like, well, listen, you got me right there, popcorn. And I said, yeah. So we'll be coming on board, starting with our boys lacrosse team up here very soon. And then hopefully branching out to others. I just reached out to my football coach and said, hey, just so you know, we're going to start doing something a little different. We took a little break from a lot of the heavy fundraising during COVID, and trying to be respectful of people and really kind of relying on our community to try and help, or our school budget to help as much as we can, but really trying to do that new thing. So we'll be coming on board here very, very soon. So very much looking forward to it. So this is actually perfect for us.
Now the Mass AD.
Steve's going to be your guy as well, so he's going to be the guy.
So Al and I have been communicating, and we have a final conversation. Well, another conversation that we're going to have at 4:30 this afternoon. So it's funny that you mentioned it. It's great. So
that's great to hear. Especially, I'm not sure. I don't know if there are any flavors, but if there's ever a buffalo option, everything buffalo. This guy loves. So
we'll make sure we take care of you there.
I love it. Well, the funny thing is I can speak from experience because my basketball team just did PubCon. We just did PubCon. It went extremely well. And just to, you guys will obviously talk to the ADs that will reach out to you, but I want to say to them, hey, Matt set me up. I had an app on my phone. I could see in live time, dollar for dollar, who was bringing in what, where we were at, how we got there, and who donated. And it was a beautiful thing, because now you can go back to the kids and say, hey, you're doing a great job, but I want you to keep working hard. Or, hey, you really haven't gotten very much. Why don't you kind of reach out and really, add some emails and make sure that this thing takes care of itself. And so much so that, last week I just put an order in for all sweatshirts and T-shirts for my entire team, and it was all through this fundraiser. So great stuff.
That's awesome.
Yep. And that's the great stuff that we like to hear, what you actually do with the money, right? We're going to help you raise it, but what's on your list of what you need, and then what's on your dream list. And we're trying to allow you to chunk off the need ones first, but then think a little bit bigger. And we have some football teams that make $30,000 in 9 days, and they can go and buy anything they want. But obviously it's an expensive sport, but they have the ability to work on that dream list too. And I will say one thing that we pride ourselves on is, and Matt, you can attest to it, is that popcorn went really well this year. You did an awesome job. But if you guys ever wanted to do something else, we have other options. We've done almost everything with basketball. But we like the fact that when Steve started 25 years ago, even me, it was still 1 or 2 products. He had one product. He had the gold card to go around and sell, and that was it. Now we have 10 plus products. Now we have online donations. A lot of teams like that, but it's really hard to do it year after year because you're just asking for money with nothing in return. So we, rather than coming and going to another company to do that and then coming back to us, you can stay with us. We'll take care of you, and we'll make sure that the product or the fundraising avenue is something that you like and enjoy. And, we let you kind of pick what works, and we'll coach you through that. But that's one thing that's really helped with the development of Gold Athletics, with having different products. And we want to be able to go deep in teams. And Matt, like I said, I love our relationship and appreciate it. I can pretty much give something different for almost every team in the school. And it makes them feel good because they're not competing with every other program.
Matt, you just hit the nail on the head right there, because for us, with some of the programs we've used in the past, we have one team that tries something, has some success, and everyone wants to do it. And, we're a smaller school and everyone going to the same people. So to have that flexibility is huge, which will be outstanding, and really looking forward to that.
I'm looking at the spring right now, and I know, we've got some stuff lined up, Matt, and we've got, a couple other people that want to come on board, For me, I think, as the AD, you don't want to have your hands in too many different things, but you want to put your coaches around good people and great companies. So it's easy to say, hey, this is who we use, as a school exclusively. So if you're an AD out there and you're trying to brand your school, you're trying to, cultivate relationships and really keep everything under one umbrella, this is the way to go. To me, this is the way to go. You guys are a quality company. You take care of all of your coaches and the kids. I mean, you always take care of the coaches. On my end, they're more than pleased, because they're always saying, "Oh, this stuff's great." But that being said, it's all taken care of, and Matt. You come in, they know who you are, they know what to expect, they know they're getting a quality product, and they're getting the truth.
Yep. And I appreciate that. That's probably one of the biggest things that we want to kind of separate ourselves. It's a lot of independent either companies or small reps that go around and listen, some of them do a great job. There's competitors I could talk about that do an awesome job. And if you're happy with them, great. We're not going to, we'll still compete with them, but we're not going to, we're not going to play dirty or go below the belt. But I do know based on experience and schools that have talked to me, there are some guys that don't follow through with their promises. And the difference between us being a company and having structure is that if I fall off the face of the earth, you'll have someone that you could call at Gold Athletics to make sure that everything has gone smoothly, or make sure that all of your prizes were delivered. And that's a huge benefit to our company, but also to the teams we work with, because we want to make sure that they're taken care of, have a good experience, and they come back to us next year.
Nice. So, the funny thing was, Matt, we put this out on social media and it's everywhere, right? So, for the ADs out there, if, you happen to forget, or, you just might have not been listening the way you should, you can find this on the MSSADA webpage. It was all over Twitter, and we recently put out a press release as well. So we've put it out there. What I want to talk to you a little bit about is your plans for the future. What do you have on the horizon?
Sure. So one of the big things that we talked about earlier is the technology. We were working on this stuff. We were building custom products. We were doing all of this the last couple of years. COVID hit, and it was like we didn't do much for 6 months. It was a tough time, but we weren't doing anything for the last year and a half without some technology. And we've sped up our game plan, and everything you do with us will have some sort of technological advance part of the fundraiser, so that you'll have live tracking of what is going on with the fundraiser. A lot of our fundraisers are with no cash, no check. It's all done online. We now have more and more ship to home. We're working right now. I probably shouldn't say this currently, but we're working on ship to home cookie dough. So a lot of people do cookie dough and it works great, but then it has to deliver to the school. And what's nice about ours is it's shelf stable, and that it can be just, it's all student packed. So each player comes and brings it home. Well, we're taking it a step farther. So now the cookie dough, once we finalize the details of it, which hopefully by the beginning of the spring, will ship directly to the customer. So that's the future of the technology. But we don't want to be an online company. We still want to show up. We want to come to your planning period, come meet with the AD in the office, especially now a lot of us can remove the mask if need be, right? And, we want to come today, come and sit down and just shake your hand and know we're the local guy and local company, but also allow you to sell something to someone in California as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Keith, we put something out through social media, and one of the things, Keith, I think you and I talked about was we had some people, in the Twitter sphere that commented on the fact that you guys are all over the map. You're not just in the Northeast. Your company is national,
absolutely.
and it's right. So
we're growing right now, and we have a lot of new reps that we're hiring all over, and then we have guys like Steve who've come over and are just bringing this tremendous amount of knowledge and experience. And we talk about the program, which is where we come in, we meet with your coach, we sit down with the game plan meeting, and Steve is the best at that. He knows how to run it. It's 10 to 14 days over and done with. And I don't know if you want to talk anything about how you run your program or the program itself.
Well, I mean, I've been doing this a long time, right? So I got a little more gray hairs than Matt has. So he doesn't have any hair. So anyway, but I've been doing this, like I said, a long time. I'm from Massachusetts. I'm a Chelmsford, Mass graduate. Jack Fletcher was my old hockey coach.
Nice.
So I've been doing this a while, and I've worked with teams for that long. And I was talking to Jay Costa earlier today, and I've been with Shrewsbury High Athletics through for a long time, for 25 years. I've been working with their whole athletic department, and they do an awesome job. So we built this thing on the program, and the program really was the key. We're not here to sell your product. We're here to make you the most amount of money in the least amount of time, and with the least amount of aggravation. And we've gotten, the technology's made this thing go in a different direction, but we're still using the program to make sure that we maximize everything. Bottom line is we want to make this simple for our coaches, and so that they can focus on coaching. And we can get them what they need as far as money, so they can get the things that they need that can make their programs better.
That's a beautiful point. I mean, I think Keith and I would both agree that, we want our coaches to coach, and for me, being a coach / AD, you don't want to take too much time out of practice. So, Matt's made it easy that, hey, when are you going to have all your teams together? So we'll do something for 10 minutes in between a varsity and a JV freshman practice, get them all together, get it done, make sure it works. And then you carry on from there. So, as far as the ease of use and the flexibility, I think that's a huge factor in what we do, as professionals. We do.
And I was going to say, I can't tell you how, being a newer person coming on here too, is that, the things that I'm hearing that I'm loving, and other ADs who might not be using the product as well, have got to love as well, is things like the flexibility and variety, and all those things are going to make our lives easier. It's going to make our coaches' lives easier. It's going to make the kids' lives easier. And as you said, having those things, those prizes, or those things for kids to really want to do it more. Everyone loves a sweatshirt, everyone loves a t-shirt, everyone loves some gear. You know what I mean? Something like that. So to be able to have that flexibility to do some stuff like that, we sometimes talk about it too much because, raising the money is what we do, but our gear is really what separates what we want to be and be able to give these kids something that they like, not something they go home and throw it in the trash. So do a lot of Nike, Under Armour, it's all custom to your school. So if players sell a certain amount or hit their benchmarks, they're going to get custom logo with your logo on it, and it's going to be your colors, and it's going to look good, and coach is going to click on a link to approve it. He sees it first. So that has really helped our sales go, because if we motivate players, we know that fundraising is a necessary evil. We understand that. We don't try to sugarcoat it and say, oh, you're going to love to do this, but we want to make it as easy as possible for you. And if we can get the coaches some good rewards, but really important, the players, it can be a win-win for everyone, and they get excited about it. As you know, Matt, we come back the next year, they go, what's the prizes? They don't care what we're selling. They want to know what the prize is. What are they going to get? Yeah, absolutely.
Funny story. One of my kids, Matt's doing his thing, and he's doing a great job of it. And one of my kids raises his hand and say, the sneakers you're wearing, are those the prize? They love Matt's sneakers. They wanted his.
I got my golden black ones on right now.
We can do
exactly.
I love it. Well,
you got to love the honesty.
Yeah. Oh God,
exactly.
yeah. So we got to talk a little bit about what we got coming up, and I know that you folks will be there as well. We've got our annual AD conference, and I'm extremely excited because, again, one, Keith and I heavily involved, but two, we're getting back together again in person, which I think, people are clamoring for. The strange thing is, every time I leave this office, I go reaching for a mask that I no longer need, which is great, right? But as far as that AD conference, a ton of work has gone in. We've got some exceptional companies that are coming through, like yourself, through the vendor hall and whatnot. But there's so much professional development. Keith, I want to talk a little bit, with you, and obviously we're going to talk about some vendor work down at the conference hall. But there's so much for everybody, whether you've been a long-time AD or you're brand new on the job. There's so many different avenues. And I always looked at it like, hey, the vendor hall was great because you got to meet people. You got to listen to them. And I consider myself a good judge of character. When you're meeting salespeople, you know what I mean? I got a friend of mine who he works here in the building. He's a salesman, but like you, Matt and Steve, he's a real guy. Yep. He values the relationship. If you choose to be with him, great. If not, no hard feelings. And that's really what it's all about. But let's talk a little bit about the PD down there. Chock full, tons of stuff going on. Keith, listen, I see you smiling over there. I know you're going to be in a lot of classes.
Well, as I always joke around, and my wife will always tell me, enjoy your vacation when you're going down there. And I say,
same.
Listen, I'm there to learn, and that's what I know. And but the professional development opportunities and so much of what we do is based on what people ask for. So, we put out those surveys and we want to know what people want to do. And between the national courses, the LTC and LTI courses that we're doing, to the individual group sessions, to the concurrent sessions, Matt, and hats off to you, man, for, being in our role as the first vice president and kind of running, putting on this whole thing together here. And along with Mike Denise and some other folks in our group. But, going through, Terry Riley just sent us the draft here, and we got some great stuff going on. everything from the social time, which is so important, to the different concurrent sessions, 3 in every section, to the LTI classes and some MIA classes. You know, there's, if you don't find something here for you, then there's an issue. You know, even if you're not really for professional development, we even have the golf opportunity for people to go out and do some different things around town or in the area and stuff like that as well. So it's going to be a great event, and really looking forward to it. And you said before about, you know, reaching for your mask. I went into my son's tournament hockey game last night, and I grabbed an old coat because I had to switch out of my Bedford coat to get into, you know, into a regular one before I went in. And I'm like, and I reach in and I'm like, oh, I don't need this. You know, I have a pocket and a mask in each pocket all ready to go. I'm like, don't need this anymore. So people are really looking forward, I think, to that social time and the interaction with each other, where, you know, 2 years ago we were canceled. Last year we were online, and this is going to be great, and it's going to be a real quality event.
The most important thing, though, if Mrs. Mangan is listening, okay, Keith is not going down there to play. He's down there to work and learn. Okay, I want her to hear it from the horse's mouth. He's there to learn, and Mrs. Trahan needs to know the same thing too. I'm not just going down there for free food. I'm going down there to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that being said, too, I want to tell all the ADs that are going to be listening or viewing this at some point. Listen, take advantage of getting down there, meeting some of the quality vendors, all of the companies. Get down there, shake hands, talk, ask questions. That's what we're putting all of this together for, so that you have, like yourself, Matt and Steve. We want it to be a situation where you leave there and you've gained something for your athletic department, whether it's through the coursework or through a new company or whatnot. So really exciting time. Excited to get down there.
We appreciate you guys. I mean, part of this sponsorship is obviously related with your programs and you guys as a whole overseeing it. But for what you've done the last 2 years, it's tremendous with the following the rules, right? That whether you agreed with them or not, getting all these schedules together, dealing with whether a team is making the playoffs or not based on all these different rules, which you read about. Hats off to you, to all the ADs. It's not an envious position that we want to be in with where you guys are, and you guys have handled it very well.
I appreciate that.
And let me add in as well. And I know that when I first got involved with Mssada a number of years ago, one of the things we'd always hear about, asking the ADs to get down to the vendor hall and to meet the vendors and stuff like that. And, you know, at this point in our school year, a lot of people's budgets are winding down and stuff like that too. But it's, you know, what I've always taken out of this is the really important part is building those relationships with folks. So when you have those projects come up, a couple of years ago we were down and I had left to come down to the Cape when we were waiting for town meeting, and a couple of vendors we were working on doing a new turf field and do lights and stuff, and they were all there as well. And we kind of met up and, kind of heard all the news we needed here at the same time. So it's those relationships. So when you need something, or if you're looking to try something, or if you need a quote, at the end of the school year, there might be some extra money in the business office that they need to spend, and say, hey, let me do this. And you have those relationships with people to reach out and get that stuff done right away. And it's going to make you look good. We all know as ADs how quickly something that happens can make us look bad. So we want those things that make us look good, in there as well.
So Matt and Steve, listen, I want to thank you guys for joining us. I know that you're at a conference, and I know that you've got some things to do. Please keep an eye on my guys. And if the Bedford contingent is there as well, please keep an eye on those guys.
We'll look out for them.
We do appreciate it. And we certainly appreciate this new partnership, this sponsorship. And one last time, folks, we'd like to say, if you're looking for help with your fundraising for your team or your school, look no further. Gold Athletics is the premium fundraising company that meets all of your needs. They are working with schools for the spring sports. Gold Athletics has all different kinds of fundraising all throughout the year. Don't just take our word for it. Ask anyone who's used Gold Athletics. Gold Athletics is the only way to fundraise. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us.
Yeah,
we're going to see you. We're going to see you real soon in March.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Take care. Have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.